Is it time to break up the big three in LA?
Yes, it is, Molly. Will it happen? Probably not. Anthony Davis is not going anywhere. He has a no trade clause. We know LeBron James is not going anywhere. The person that they probably could move or should move is Russell Westbrook. I don't know if it's going to happen because of his contract. But here's the thing about the Lakers,
Okay.
right? They're full of excuses, Well, 1 minute is Frank Vogel. Frank Vogel been out. Fizdale been coaching. Now they're still losing. And here's the thing. LeBron, you my dog. I've been knowing you since the 7th grade. But that interview, that ain't it. That ain't it. For the simple fact that the whole league has been battling this whole situation for us, COVID protocols, injuries, or whatever the case may be. When I watch an Atlanta Hawk team off a back-to-back, fresh off a loss against the Magic, go into Philly without their superstar and get a big-time win, I said, you know what? Anybody could do it. So when you get beat by 28 by the Spurs, that's a problem. That don't have nothing to do with chemistry. Now, what LeBron James should have said was, hey, man, we got to do a better job of getting back after a made basket because teams are scoring on us. Russell Westbrook got to do a better job of not leaving his feet when he trying to pass the ball because he keep getting turnovers. Or how about Carmelo Anthony? Hey, man, they're picking on you and picking rolls every time you're down on the floor. They're calling you up and they're going at you defensively. You got to be better. Hey, DeAndre Jordan, when are you going to do the defensive coverage right? When in drop, quit letting the guy get behind you for live dunks. That's the LeBron James that I want to hear in the interview talk and preach and call out his teammates and hold them accountable instead of saying things about chemistry issues when the entire NBA is going through it.
Woo. You are not wrong, Herc. And somewhere in my mind, I have allowed myself to believe that this is a leadership ploy on the part of LeBron, right? In terms of not dropping the hammer on what has been a very frustrating situation. You are absolutely right. The Lakers are not a solo team in terms of dealing with this issue. But when I look at this roster, yes, we had umpteen jokes in terms of the AARP group and how old they are. But I also have to give some room for the idea that these are all high basketball IQ guys who have the ability to put it together, right? So I'm waiting to see, can they get healthy? Do I have them coming out of the West even healthy? No. But I do think there is room, there's a little bit of room for what LeBron has said in terms of the continuity that's missing. Because remember, they got healthy late in the season last year, going into the playoffs, and then we know how that ended, right? And so there is something to be said for the chance to get right, just a little bit.
But Monica, you can't go from 2 nights ago, Molly, of getting beat by the Phoenix Suns by 20, walk into last night against the Spurs and get beat by 28.
Well, is this part of the veteran thing, though? Because you know veterans love to turn it on after Christmas.
We haven't seen at no point.
And so,
let me ask y'all a question. At any point of this season, have y'all watched the Lakers and said, oh, they do have an on switch? No,
you're right.
No,
I'm waiting for it.
So we know LeBron has an on switch, so that's why people are believing it because
he's been on, Molly.
Yeah,
you seen his last 9 games, but the Lakers hasn't. They've been horrible.
I am giving a little bit of holiday grace to the idea that when they can get on the floor consistently, including practice, it'll improve. I still don't got to come out the West.
Here it is. I'm gonna say this: if the Lakers healthy, this roster that they have, that they assembled, Rob Pelinka, LeBron James, if they don't at least make it to the finals this year, they will be considered one of the biggest disappointments in NBA history.
Okay. Not to me, because I didn't think that group was going to get to the finals. But I feel you in the big
future Hall
picture.
of Famers.
But they
LeBron,
don't, Bert.
Anthony Davis, 28. He's at the peak of his
Davis is fragile, and I don't mean to knock his injury
They won a
history.
championship with him.
In the
he
bubble.
was putting up
in the bubble.
It don't matter. It don't matter. You heard people saying it felt like they was doing time.
So how far should this roster go?
I mean, they got to deal with it. Like, look, nobody's going to trade for Carmelo. Nobody's going to trade for Russ.
Yeah.
He's making too much money, so they have to deal with it. They got to figure things out. But again, if this team healthy doesn't make it to the finals, they will be one of the most disappointments in NBA history.
If you're not a part of the championship equation as a member of the Lakers,
okay,
you ain't gonna matter. Now, if you were the Knicks, You can get the first round and you relevant.
You would know. You was at the game the other night looking very disappointed.
I was hurt right now. They didn't show the picture of me when the Knicks came back and erased a 20-point deficit. They showed me when we were down 20.
Yeah, but they lost anyway.
They
so
lost
what does it
anyway,
matter?
but that's neither here nor there. My point is that, listen, you got to crawl before you walk when you're a New York Knicks fan, along with various other franchises. The Los Angeles Lakers are the Los Angeles Lakers. It's a different standard. And what I am saying is that if I'm looking at you as a team, and I'm saying ain't no way in hell you winning the championship. That's my definition.
24 games into the season?
Let me finish. I'm saying, I'm just expressing what my belief is as it pertains to relevancy for the Los Angeles Lakers.
Okay.
If this were the Clippers, I wouldn't say that. If this was another team without those championship expectations, or championship expectations were foreign to them, I wouldn't say that. But I'm saying when you're the Lakers and LeBron James is the face of your franchise, and you got Anthony Davis, and you got Russell Wilson and Russell Westbrook, and I'm looking at your franchise, and I'm like, ain't no way in hell you winning the chip.
Okay.
That's relevant.
But that's different,
so for me, I'm saying to you this: the Golden State Warriors are the best team as far as I'm concerned.
Right now, today.
They ain't nobody in the West. The only team that's got a chance of beating them is the Phoenix Suns. The Los Angeles Lakers might not make it out the first round. This is what I'm saying about the Los Angeles Lakers. That's why I make that statement.
You might be right.
But they ain't beating Phoenix and they ain't beating the Warriors.
But I don't know that 24 games into the season, and neither do you, Stephen A. As much as you cover the NBA.
Warriors?
No,
Warriors?
you can't. No, we're talking about the Lakers.
All right, no.
You're saying they can't get out. You're saying they can't get out the first round.
No.
You're saying they're getting ready to become irrelevant.
I'm saying that's how they look like they're very tough.
No, that's not what you said. You said they get ready to become irrelevant.
That's what I'm saying. I'm telling you.
I don't know that.
Let me say this to you, never. Let me guarantee you this. They ain't beating the Warriors.
But we're not talking about bringing up the Warriors.
They ain't beating the
Because
Warriors.
I agree with you. Based on the way that they're playing right now, they ain't no way in the hell they're going to beat anybody.
Okay.
But we're only 24 games into the season. Now, if you talk to me after All-Star break and we still sitting at sub 500 and we looking like clunkers, then I'm going to cave in to you, no question about it. But as we sit right now, and you know this as well as I know, because you've been covering the NBA forever, LeBron James' new teams have always started out slow when they mixing things up.
That's true.
We've been injured in and out of the lineup. We got to get AD to act right. Huh?
Even when he went to Miami at first, it took a minute.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere. Even when he got back to Cleveland the second time around. So give it some time before you start just condemning us.
But it's not about the team. It's not about just how the team is playing. It's about the personnel that you have. Like, for example, you ain't going to get Russell Westbrook a jump shot. Now, Anthony Davis, as big time as he is, you're not going to get him comfortable playing the 5. That's just not who he is. You made the right decision by starting Dwight Howard a few games ago. You should do that. DeAndre Jordan should never been started. It should have been Dwight Howard. But in the end, what I'm saying is they got a problem shooting the basketball, and I'm not.
We have not shot the ball well.
By the way, I said this on Countdown Friday night. Let me state this right in front of your face. I'm not wishing for this. I'm not calling for this. They don't change quickly. Frank Vogel's going to get fired. You are playing in front of thousands of people and millions watching. All folks are doing is saying, "Yo, we watching the game of basketball," and that is not what we're supposed to be seeing.
But you are criticizing it by and not using it in the context of how the team is constructed and where they're at. So you basically, not you, but people are starting to chatter about he needs to be fired if he doesn't do this or that. Which it could become a fireable offense at some point in time. I don't think they're there yet. They're not there yet, right? I mean, you got to let them gel a little bit, man.
Let me say this. Frank Vogel won a title.
Yes, 2 years ago.
Or 2 years ago. Frank Vogel had the #1 defense for years. When he was coaching in Indiana, he had a top-rated defense, #1, #3, whatever. It was always that way. One year he was #1, another year he was #3. He is known as a defensive mind. The Los Angeles Lakers has been hovering around 27th, 28th ranked defense for months now. When you consider the fact that LeBron is 36, that Russell Westbrook is 32 going on 33, LeBron will be 37 this month, Anthony Davis is your younger player, Melo's 37, who, by the way, has been playing well and what have you. When you consider that in the window of opportunity available to you, you can't afford, if you're Jeannie Buss and Rob Pelinka, to sit around and wait when you know the window is now. Warriors ain't getting worse. Phoenix Suns ain't getting worse. Utah ain't getting worse. By the way, the job Jason Kidd's doing in Dallas, they ain't getting worse. Kawhi is eventually coming back to the Clippers, who beat the Lakers last week. They ain't getting worse, and they got one of, if not the best coach in basketball in Ty Lue. When you witness all of that transpiring before your very eyes, there comes a point in time, if you're the Lakers, where you got to make a change. I'm not advocating for it because I believe in Frank Vogel. But these players can talk all they want to, but you ain't produced it for him. You didn't produce last year. You sat around and was feeling yourself because you were champions. You damn sure ain't feeling yourself this year. And oh, by the way, this is the same Jeannie Buss, and everybody forgets this. This is the same Jeannie Buss that ended up fighting in court and out of court for control of the franchise over her brother. If the wonderful woman that Jeannie Buss is, who's phenomenal, makes a decision to fight her brother on behalf of the franchise, what you think she gonna do to Frank Vogel if this continues?
I'm never gonna say that she not gonna heads aren't gonna roll.
The heads gonna roll.
Heads ain't gonna roll 25 games, 26 games into the season.
And I'm saying,
so you got to give it an opportunity to develop. You got to. Defensively, yes, they've been struggling. How many new faces are on that defense? It's like me and you. We ain't worked together much, but when we work together, because we got off-camera chemistry,
right,
we can just do our thing. They got to be able to do the same thing, but you got to give them time to gel, to mesh. I don't believe people are giving them that opportunity in that time, Stephen A.
I'm saying.
Just because it's the Lakers and LeBron.
Yeah, but at some point, listen, sooner than later,